Hi, everyone. Welcome to our One World Zohar, our energy connection with the Zohar. We are in volume one of Bereshit. And as I was just sharing, we're going to be at verse 338. There are several anniversaries of elevation today. The one I wanted to point out is Rav Levi Yitzchak Berdichev, who was a huge tzaddik, huge righteous soul. We have visited him on our tours through Poland and the Ukraine. We visited his burial spot. It's a very special place. I wish I had a picture. I think every time I've been there, it's been snowing. Um, but he represents for us a huge channel for prosperity, which is an amazing thing to connect to as we embark on this new year. So let's also send out energy as we connect to the level of Binah, the flawless universe. Let's connect to the energy of healing for everyone we know who needs healing. So anyone you know, now's an opportunity as we connect to these verses to send them energy of healing. Min Bachaya Moshe ben Chana, Albert ben Melda, Melda ben Carmen, Yisrael Zeb ben Menya Rachel, Ariel ben Rivka Tova, Nachman ben Chaya, Rachel ben Chaya, Jeffrey ben Fern, Shem Devor ben Chaya Chana, Levi ben Bluma, Sar ben Malka,
No
Yitzchak ben Rivka,
battery.
bat
Recharge.
Marty, Chana bat Rivka, Knesset bat Rachel Dina, Surpal bat Teresa, Carol bat Susan, Abiva bat Naina. Let's also send energy of assistance to those souls we know are in the process of the first 12 months of their elevation. Also, let's connect to the energy of Ahavat Chinam, unconditional love, treating everyone in the world with human decency, ending all the wars and conflicts in our world. Amazingly so, the conflict in the war in Gaza seems to be, certainly it's not getting any worse. So it's on a pause, and let's hope that's a permanent pause. And significantly, we've been asking for the release of the hostages for 2 years, and that took place. It was an amazing, amazing scene. And if you're not seeing the scenes of reunions of these people who were held hostage for 2 years, and most of them in dark tunnels, being starved
Recharge.
and tortured, seeing their reunions with family members is on Instagram and social media and other places, just amazing. Um, so we want to also send them, those survivors who are returning home, energy of healing, both physically and emotionally.
Bluetooth.
Also,
Connecting. Power off.
we want to connect to the energy of protection from evil eye and evil speech, and moving chaos and negativity from our world. Okay, verse 338. I'm going to read the Aramaic, and then Alex is going to read the English of the intro. Bet de Bereshit, Rav Rava, Rabbi Yossi Sha'ele, Amar, Hai Shita Yome Bereshit, Deka Taninan Man Inun, Amar Le, Hainu Diskiv Arze Lebanon, Asher Nata, Kama de Ilain Arazin, Navkin min Lebanon, Hachinami Inun Shita Yomin, Navkin min Bereshit. Alex, you're on mute right now. There you go.
Yeah, I got it. In response to a question by his student, Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Shimon reveals a profound secret contained in the very first word of the Torah.
Okay,
The Hebrew
so
word.
before we even get to that, so this is a teaching directly from Rabbi Shimon. And there is no more significant personality to our path than Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. I just want to point that out. There's plenty of people, plenty of sages throughout the ages and present who we connect to. But Rabbi Shimon is the guy who literally revealed the Zohar. So here we are connecting to the Zohar and being taught something about Rabbi Shimon by Rabbi Shimon. And you're like, I wish I could have been there. Must have been amazing to connect with him. So I want to emphasize the importance of we are there. What do you mean? I'm sitting in my wherever. It happens to be my dining room. I'm sitting wherever. I'm sitting wherever, and it's 2025. I'm not, at the turn of the century of the prior centuries. I'm not 2,000 years ago when the Zohar was being revealed and Rabbi Shimon was teaching his students. That's an illusion. We're there connecting to Rabbi Shimon. And if you were there and you could appreciate the impact, it's just a hugely impactful opportunity. And we should remind ourselves of that. What we're doing here, connecting to the Zohar, is not commonplace in our world today. It's a special, rarefied energy field that we're in. And so, and on top of it, not only we're connecting to the Zohar and connecting to the energy of the flawless universe through our connection to the Zohar, we're actually picking up insight into our life and insight into our relationship with the Creator. So let's continue.
Hold on. Didn't you say we are in Beresheet A?
338. Close.
338.
What is it, A or B?
A.
Hey.
A. That's what I thought. I'm trying to find out.
Oh, I'm
seeing
sorry.
something different. I'm
sorry,
online.
Rocky.
Yeah, that's okay.
Rocky, just raise your hand. Don't wait for me. Just interrupt me.
All
So
right.
there's an introduction to 338. That's where we are. Okay, let's continue. Alex
Rocky,
just
take a
posted
look
the
at
link.
the chat. I just dropped it in the chat.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. The Hebrew word for in the beginning is Bereshit. When you separate the first letter of the word bet from the rest of the word, you have bet and Reshit.
Okay, so what the Zohar is coming to teach us is this first word of Bereshit, to understand, like, what's the significance of the word in the beginning? I mean, it's like any novel you pick up, Once Upon a Time. Why is that significant? You got to start the novel out somehow, because this isn't literature. This isn't a novel. This isn't poetry. This is something else. I mean, I can find ways to describe it. It's, they're channels of energy to the upper realm, but like, that's so esoteric. It's so intangible. There is no way to explain it because we're so tied into physicality. We need physical references for everything to begin to have a consciousness about it. So what this is forcing us to do, and the first opportunity we have here, or the second one, is to raise our consciousness to understand nothing is as it appears to be. And among the things that's not as it appears to be is this is not literature. This is literally connecting to the 99% realm. Now, I've been hearing this for the past 20 years as a student of Kabbalah. We're connecting to, I don't know what that means. I just know it's not this. It's not physicality. What does it mean to connect to the flawless universe? What does that mean? I have a hard time figuring out and staying on track with what I'm supposed to get done today. I mean, that's hard enough. So what do you mean you're connecting to another realm? I mean, that's the challenge. This is a challenge of us expanding our consciousness to understand there's a world beyond what we see. And what is the primary channel we have to the world beyond what we see? Something I can taste, see, hear, feel. They get five or touch. It's nothing that I can use my five senses to connect with. So how am I connecting to the upper realm? Because there's another aspect to your interaction with the world around you, and it's not your five senses. It's your inner sense. It's your soul. It's your third eye. It's your sixth sense. It's your heart. Whatever physical label you want to slap on it, it's connecting. It's a connection beyond what your five senses are there. And then well, then maybe I can't connect because all I really know is my five senses. No, you can, and you are. You're constantly connected. You're connected 24/7. It's just our consciousness isn't present to that. And that's part of what we're driving ourselves to do, and part of the opportunity we have when we connect to the Zohar without understanding the words. But here we have words that we can understand, we can wrap our head around. Breshit doesn't mean in the beginning. It has probably unlimited meaning. Well, not probably, it does have unlimited meanings. It's just depending on how you're going to view it, from what angle. So this Zohar is looking at it from the angle of, well, if you take the first letter separate from the rest of the word, you have a different meaning. You have a bet and a reshit. And now the Zohar is going to explain to us what that means. What does it mean when you take the word Bereshit in the beginning and you separate the bet, the sound of B, the bet, from the rest of the world? Let's see.
The letter Bet refers to the Sphira of Malchut, our physical world.
Okay, so the first letter is connecting us to physicality, this world, which is the world of our five senses. Go ahead.
When
you separate.
the word Reshit corresponds to the light of Chokhmah, the highest grade of light emanating from the Creator.
Hang on a second. My explanation says the word for you have the bet and reshit. The letter bet refers to Sir Malchut. Oh yes, I'm sorry. Reshit corresponds to the light of Chokhmah, the highest grade of light emanating from the Creator. Okay. So we have 10 sfirot. We have 10 parallel channels through which the light of the Creator reaches our world. Now I'm simplifying it when I say there's 10. Because within each one of the 10, there's another 10.
10.
But let's just stay surface level depth. It's deep, but it's surface level. There's 10 channels. The first one is Keter. It's the highest. It's one that we have very little consciousness about, although we do have some consciousness about. The second one is Chokhmah. And what the Zohar is coming to teach us is that the word Reshit connects to Chokhmah. That's the highest level of light emanating from the Creator. Wait, it's the second Sphira. What about the light coming from Keter? Well, if I lack, because of my human frailties and my human limitations, the ability to understand what Keter is, then the only light that's really coming is coming from Chokhmah. Because ultimately, that light is consciousness. I don't have consciousness about Keter. What do you mean I'm conscious? We know it's Keter. Isn't that enough consciousness? Not enough, apparently. Not enough. Chokhmah is the highest level of light that I can understand. It is, if Binah is the reservoir of fulfillment, then Chokhmah is what fills the reservoir. And so Bereshit represents a connection between Chokhmah and Malchut, because everything that we're encountering through the filters of our five senses is coming from Chokhmah. By the way, the significance of Yom Kippur, which was already a couple of weeks ago, is that we're connecting directly to Binah without anything in the way. Here, right now, we're connecting to Chokhmah without anything in the way. How deep is that connection? Well, that's another question. But we want to understand that this is how the Creator chose to create this world. And why do we need to know that? Because understanding that brings us closer, and understanding that gives us the opportunity to understand our life and our life's challenges in a different way. Otherwise, it's pointless. Like, there'd be no reason to take biochemistry if you didn't want to become a doctor or teach chemistry, I suppose. Like, there would have to be an end, and there have to be some end in mind with why you're doing something. And frankly, everything in our life, we want to be present to, well, what am I trying to accomplish here? What's the purpose and meaning behind it? So the purpose and meaning behind this is to gain greater understanding of the world around us, so we can gain greater understanding of our soul's purpose. The only purpose in studying this is so that I can create a more purposeful and meaningful life, more aligned with my soul's purpose. When I'm aligned with my soul's purpose, it's just more meaningful. I know why I'm here. And like, for those of us on this call, those listening to the recording, do we know why we're here? I mean, that's a big challenge because I'm dealing with all kinds of like challenges. I'm just trying to keep my head above water most of the time. I'm just trying to get by. Purpose, meaning behind it, it's survival. That's a very common, very human experience. But it's also kind of victim consciousness. Like, I don't want to look at the challenges of my life as happening to me, as we've discussed. It's the level of nefesh. I want to be the level of ruach. I want to have an elevated consciousness where I see everything happening for me. And so what is my soul's purpose? Well, it's to deal with the challenges that are in front of me. How's that making the world a better place? And this is something that I want to share. I've shared this before, but it's pretty recent. It's something that Seffi Grundman shared on Hoshana Rabbah in the all-night study last week. Well, not last week, Sunday night. And is that he said that sometimes we look at the challenges that we have as a result of mistakes that we've made. But that's not accurate. The challenges that we have were given to us because we're the only ones who can fix them. The challenges that we have are our soul's purpose. It's not limited to that. There's probably greater purposes also. But rest assured, whatever challenges that you are experiencing in life, they were given to you for you to do work on from the Creator. And if you think you made a mistake to put yourself in this situation, you were probably pushed in, if not for sure, pushed into making that mistake so you could arrive at the challenge that you have to deal with. That is our role in perfecting creation, the role that we took over from the angels at Mount Sinai. And you're like, nah, what I'm going through right now, no. You don't understand. I'm going through right now, this is kind of a crazy kind of challenge. No, it's not crazy. You think the Creator doesn't know the challenge you're in? Creator knows exactly the challenge you're in, and you were picked to work on that. That's your work. But I want to make the world a better place. I know. That's the challenge you're supposed to be working on. But I really want to help the world. Well, deal with your challenge, and then let's see what comes next. Embrace the process. This was your special assignment. Yes, Ron, Aaron.
I think it's interesting because generally, as a human being, people, I'm speaking in blanket terms here, but like when we look at challenges as this thing that's like like an inconvenience, or it's the context, right? Like the context we look at, with the challenge versus this is exactly what I need to do. And you can actually I'm just like, after experiencing this past Rosh Hashanah, just seeing it as a gift, right? Like, okay, it's a gift. It's actually what I'm here to do. It's actually part of my purpose versus like, oh God, not again. It's just the
Oh
context.
God, not again. Exactly right.
It's just the context and how you look at it, right?
Right.
I don't know.
Absolutely. I can't go into the details, but like I have a personal challenge that I'm dealing with, and it's not the first time. And I thought the first time it was pretty like random. And then it came up again in a completely different situation, the exact same thing. I mean, what a crazy coincidence.
I'll share something about this past holiday season, I call it. So this came up in conversation one morning in the sukkah, and a friend of mine says, you go through life, and even when you're on the spiritual outskirts, you think that everything is circular. So it's like, okay, here's Rosh Hashanah, it's come, it's gone. Look, I'm back to it again. And he said at some point you realize as you start to get a little bit deeper, it's actually not a circular path, it's actually a spiral. And when you're on that path, which seems circular, like you're not going anywhere, you're actually in a spiral. You get to choose the direction of that spiral. Is it ascending or is it descending? And that was kind of a highlight learning from Sukkot that I don't know why, but when Aaron was just sharing, it reminded me of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why we want to embrace that process because we want to keep ascending and getting to higher levels. And again, we're saying higher. That's a physical reference. But it is higher as we understand it. Yes, Roshan.
Yeah, there was a note from Bacha Solomon's last class in Kabbalah 5, which was talking about what we get from learning in the world of illusion, and that we can't actually correct the illusion until we experience it.
There you go. Well said.
So
And
just
Badja, of course, who has gone through her near-death experience, which has been cataloged and a couple times, like she is one of, I mean, she's very special. But among her unique attributes is the fact that she had that experience. So she was looking at the illusion from a different perspective, really. So yeah, I mean, it's a really important perspective. It's like, and that's what like it's kind of like what we say is like you had to be there to understand. That, or when we say life is experiential, you need to experience it to do the work on it. So if you run from the challenge, if you avoid the challenge, it's going to continue to linger. It's not going away. The only way to ascend on that spiritual spiral is to be there, is to experience it, is to feel it, is to embrace it. It's the only way to move on. Otherwise, we get stuck. And plenty of people are stuck. Nothing wrong with being stuck. I don't personally want to be stuck. I want to continue to manifest more blessings for the world. That's what this path is all about. That's what this journey is all about. That's part of our soul's purpose. In every corner of the world in which we exist, we are channeling more light. And so I want to, I'll be confronted with a challenge. And I'm like, no way I'm compromising here. Really? You're not compromising? No, I can't live with that. All right, sometimes it's an important boundary to make. And sometimes it's like, it's a red herring. It's a false flag. It's my own hang up. It's my own limited mindset.
Jesus.
And again, I need to be growing in my connection to the light so that I can see those mindsets that are not serving me, that are limited. And when you identify a limited mindset and then you do something proactive to overcome it, you're revealing tremendous light because it's a tremendous, tremendous restriction. It's friction. We know in science, friction reveals energy. Heat energy, light energy. It's in physical world. In the spiritual world, it's the same thing. That's what restriction is about. When I get out of my comfort zone, oh my God, this is so uncomfortable. Yeah, you're revealing light. So any and all places that I can identify in my life where I have mindsets that are limiting me, and I can view that mindset from a different perspective, from a more objective perspective, and see that it's not serving me, and I can do the uncomfortable work of getting past it. That's where I want to be. That's where I want to be. I should be there 24/7. That should be my normal. Constantly pushing up against what's uncomfortable in every aspect of my life. That's what's revealing light for the world. Let's continue.
The realm of Malchut, signified by the bet, is the world most distant from the light source, the light of Chokhmah.
Okay, so again, we have our world, has no light of its own. It's the most distant place from the source of light, Chokhmah.
Yeah.
But again, it's like a physical description. It's distant. But is it?
Yeah, I
It's
think it
just-
is. I mean,
I mean, but okay, but do you think there's space in the spiritual world?
well, you're talking about a physical space, and this is potentially written in a way that it could mean either physical or energetic
Let's assume
or
energetic. So
emotional.
what does it mean to be energetically distant?
Unconnected. I mean, you're furthest away from the source, right?
Yes,
So
I get it. But in the physical, let's assume in the spiritual realm, there is no distance. There is no space. So if there's no space, then what does it mean to be distant, in air
it's not
quotes?
connected.
Okay. I'm going to put it a different way. A lack of similarity. It's not similar in form. That's what distance is in the spiritual realm. We're being told it's distant because it's the only thing we can really understand, but it's not. It's just different form. It's not alike. When we say two people are close, one can be in LA and one can be in New York. They're not close. They're close because they're aligned energetically, because they're alike. The people that you like are people that you're similar to. Yeah, I know there's differences. I don't mean that. The people that you like are people that you see something in them that probably reminds you of yourself. You share the same thing. You share joy. You share things. You share whatever, music, talents, interests, hobbies, perspectives. Those are the people that you're like. You are similar in form. So this realm is different, is distant because it's different in form. How do we close the gap? By being more like that other realm. We get closer to the creator when we're more like to the creator. That's what this is. The more like the creator I am, the closer to the creator that I am. Well, what does it mean to be like the creator? Well, first of all, it's like understanding that there is a creator. And second was like, that's why we talk about be a being of sharing, because that's what the creator is like. The more sharing I am, the more alike I am to features of the creator, the closer I am to the creator. So there's a huge opportunity for us to understand. And again, when we examine mindsets that are not serving us, to be more light, to have more light is to be more like the light. And the primary feature of the light is sharing. The light, the creator doesn't need anything. I don't need anything. I'm just sharing light of the creator. Well, that's the creator. I mean, I'd love to get to that point. I mean, let's be serious. I'm not there. We're not there. We're working on it constantly. So part of our soul's purpose is to be more like the light. This is like Kabbalah 1, to be more like the light. I close the gap in what we're calling distance. Let's continue.
For that reason, Malchut experiences the greatest need.
And what
This
do we
need,
mean by the greatest need? Desire to receive of the self. Desire to receive. If you're here, you got a desire to receive of the self. Why? Because look around you. If I'm not taking care of myself, who is? I mean, I got to do my own grocery shopping or order it in one delivery service. I got to take care of myself. There's things I need to do for myself. There's things that I need. My desire to receive. That's it. If you're here, you have a desire to receive. From you to the planet Earth, because essentially gravity is just a huge desire to receive. That's the way this realm is wired. Malchut experiences the greatest need. So as you progress from Malchut to Yesod, to the Sfirot between Yesod and Chokhmah, there's less and less desire to receive. But we're here because the desire to receive is not positive, it's not negative, it's the way we're wired. The only question is, what do we do with that desire to receive? Let's continue.
this need in turn produces the maximum desire to receive the light. This truly titanic desire is necessary to draw down the light through the entire structure of the Sefirot. And without this great desire, Malchut would remain an empty vessel, desolate and impoverished.
Because it has no lights of its own. So you see, in the construct of reality, our job is to use that desire to manifest light. If it's just desire to receive for the self, I'm a limited vessel. If it's a desire to receive for the sake of sharing, it's an unlimited amount of I can share with the world. And again, getting back to my nefesh, ruach, neshama, the three first levels of soul. At nefesh, I'm like victim consciousness. Everybody's got that. Why is this happening to me? At ruach, I'm like nothing happens to me. Everything happens for me. So it's a huge mindset shift. And at neshama, I am that channel. And as that channel, unlimited light I can channel. Unlimited. My desire to receive for the sake of sharing channels unlimited light. And that, in Kabbalistic terms, is my soul's purpose, is to channel light into this world that has no light of its own. Well, in what way should I be doing that? Well, those are the challenges that I have. And so when I get over this challenge, will I be done? No, because that's the work. We want to be, how you view the challenge is part of the work. I want to view it as it's happening for me. It's happening for the world. That's at the level of neshama. I'm channeling this for the world. So there's a tremendous opportunity for us to upgrade our consciousness, to enhance our consciousness, to go deeper in our consciousness in how we view the world around us. And we will stumble upon mindsets that are in the way. Exactly. And this helps us to identify what those limiting mindsets are and to work through them, so they're not in the way. Let's continue.
It's truly Tedang. Yeah, that's right.
From the perspective.
From the perspective of the Kabbalist, human desire is not necessarily a negative trait, while other spiritual doctrines call upon us to nullify and negate all earthly desires. The Zohar maintains that desire is a vital force essential for arousing and revealing the light.
I mean, I thought that we were supposed to negate our earthly desires before I started saying Kabbalah. That's part of our culture. You're so selfish. I'm not selfish. I'm using my desire to channel light for the world. That is the enhanced perspective. Desire is what we're wired for. The only question is what we're using that desire for. And if we don't have desire, no light gets manifested in this world without that desire. So stop beating up on yourself for your desires because they're serving a purpose. What do you mean? Who's beating up on us when we get so caught up in our desires? It's the Satan. He wants you to feel guilty for having desire. Now, there's specifically ways to channel that desire, to optimize the light we channel, because negativity couldn't be brought in with it. Well, what do I mean by negativity? Myself, selfishness. Yes, Aaron.
Well, I don't want to say a devil's advocate question, but
That's a good way to put it.
will that desire ruffle some feathers?
Potentially. Well, yes, of course. Like to the degree that I need people's approval, I just introduced desire to see for the self. I need approval. I need approval. Oh my God, I just realized I need approval. That's what's bothering me. I'm afraid to ruffle people's feathers because they might not like me, because they might not approve of what. Does it matter what they think? Seriously. Oh, this is a big one. Glad you brought this up. This is huge. So much of what we do is impacted by what other people will think. It doesn't matter what they think. It matters what you think.
I just want to share because I had a conversation with a friend who's like, he runs like two big organizations, and I was kind of asking him questions, right? Like just picking his brain about stuff. And he told me, he's like, basically, a lot of people think I'm really selfish. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, what do you think about that? He's like, well, I don't really care. And I'm like, that's great. You know what I mean? If you need, if you're on a mission to do something, it's gonna ruffle some feathers.
That's right.
And it's okay. But I just thought it was interesting.
Well, it is interesting. He has a unique perspective they don't have.
Right.
Like if I see the goal down there, and let's see the goal is helping mankind. If I see the goal, no one else sees it. If they saw it, they'd be working on it. They don't see it the way I do.
Mm-hmm.
This goes to like a very interesting aspect of not this week's portion of Beresheet, but next week's portion of Lech Lecha. Actually, I'm not sure it's next week.
It's
Anyhow, when we get
the
to
next week.
Next week is Noah.
Yeah.
Noah,
Right.
and then
Right. No, I'm like thinking we got to have a flood first before Abram shows up on the scene. So um, he actually, I think it may be Chayesar, whatever. It's in the life of Abraham when he sees the Marot Tamach Pelah, the cave that he eventually buries his wife Sarah in, and himself and all the patriarchs and matriarchs are buried there, with the exception of Rachel. But notwithstanding, he sees it. He knows he has to have it. No one else sees it the way he does. It's literally at the entrance to the Garden of Eden. Whatever that means. Is that physically the Garden of Eden? Maybe. But we're told that it is at the entrance of the Garden of Eden. And so like he sees that. And so now he has to go on a certain journey, a certain path. People may not have agreed with him. Soon people didn't agree with what he was doing. Didn't matter. He saw it. It was his vision, unique to him. And our job is to look at what is being presented to us, what's on our personal radar. It's not going to look the same to other people. We still have to do it. So when we let people impact how we show up and what we do, we're not being authentically ourselves. So a huge opportunity here is to see the importance of my authenticity, the importance of me being aligned with my soul, the importance of me being aligned with what I see and with what I perceive the journey to be. Yes, Rocky, I see your hands up.
When we were just talking about the desire, it just kind of brought up some childhood lessons, I would say. I grew up in a household where, in a Black household, traditionally, the greatest passage in the Bible is the meek shall inherit the earth, right? And I'm taught through that passage that the desire to receive for the self is a bad desire at any level, right? But charity is a good desire. But
Yes, you're hitting it. It's a great point. We all have that.
Yeah.
But I want to suggest, I don't want to cut you off, but I want to suggest that the translation of meek might more appropriately be humble.
Yes, right. However, that is one, that verse is the verse that has kept the community down, right? So this
Yes.
generation is looking at it different. But you look at the baby boomers and you look at my grandmother and my great grandmother, it was the worst thing in the world was to have wealth.
Right.
If you were rich, you were evil, right? Because money is the root to all
Of all evil, they say.
So desire was not encouraged, right?
Right. Absolutely.
The desire that you had, even though charity was encouraged, but you were given because we go to the lamp and the oil and not having enough, and you give it, but much as you give, you get, right? But that desire, that tricky part of the desire to receive for the self alone and the desire for the sake of sharing is like a thin line. Right?
But it is, and it's transformational.
Yes. Yes.
It's really transformational. I think it's probably the biggest takeaway I think we have from today's study.
Yeah, it's literally that last little sentence, right?
Yeah.
The purpose of creation, however, is to transform this impulse from covetous desire to receive for the self alone into a desire to receive for the sake of sharing. I mean, that is the takeaway sentence for this whole passage.
And so the self-check we always want to have is, am I doing this is this ego? Am I doing this for myself? Or do I really have within this a desire for the sake of sharing?
That's the ending part, because Yehuda Dan, my teacher, and I, that every time I call him, we come back to that. He's like, why are you doing it?
Right.
What's your purpose? You're feeling pain from it, and you're upset that things aren't going the way that you perceived it to be. But what is the reason behind your doing it?
Absolutely.
But that feeling is the nefesh. That's the part of the soul of nefesh, right? I mean, and this is the thing, is trying to shift from nefesh into ruach, and that is the definitive mark.
Absolutely.
I have one more
Suzanne,
thing.
go ahead, and then Ron.
Yeah,
Yes.
we'll wrap. Exactly. So I have been blessed with a lot of the teachings because I grew up Catholic. I have been blessed very recently with concealed chapters of the Bible, what have you. Rocky, I'm here if you want to take this offline. However, to go deeper, it's been put in front of me, a lot of things, the Council of Nicaea and what Constantine did to take the Catholicism basically, or whatever. It wasn't, I'm getting into some stuff that it wasn't even supposed to be a religion. But anyways, it turned into one. Anyways, lots of stories. But the thing was, the Council of Nicaea and Constantine utilized the intelligence, just like the Egyptians. It's repetitive in history. Use the intelligence for his benefit, to rule the world, to work on the inner, to downplay people for how many thousands of years, right? To downplay people on their interior, so they would not be free, and they would have to think about a God that's outside of them. So that has been our main. This is a whole nother conversation, but it's what's caused us to come to this awakening now, where the whole foundation is being shaken, and we're looking at it differently. We're reinterpreting, like you say, it has infinite. These scripture passages have infinite understandings, and so to be continued. But it's really, I think we're at a very, very special calling right now to take things to that neshama, about
Absolutely.
concepts. So there you go, Rocky. I'm happy to talk to you.
And you just said, and you,
Thank-
I know you have my background. Yes, just from the Constantine part.
That's great. Aaron?
Okay, just real quick, because I know we're out of time, but just piggybacking off of what Rocky and Suzanne said. I grew up Catholic too, and I always have this ongoing joke. I don't want to offend anybody, but I'm like, if money is the root of all evil, then why do they keep asking for it in church?
Yeah, well, so they got to pay the bills. Okay, we're out of time.
Okay.
Thank you all. I really appreciate all the sharing and all the unique perspectives. And remember, it's those unique perspectives are important because it helps all of us to see things from a different perspective. No two of us are alike. And it's really helpful and a great opportunity when we're able to share all that. Okay, everyone, love you all. Have a Shabbat Shalom. Thank you all.
Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, you guys. Love you all. Thank you, David, for bringing
Thank
us
you.
together.
Shalom.